to me, Arzu Dutta. Now, more than 6,000 British Muslims will gather in Surrey this weekend for the UK's largest retreat for elderly Muslims. The 3-day event will see participants pledge loyalty to Islam and to Great Britain, with both the Union Jack and the Islamic flag raised together as a mark of integration. Joining us live is Yusuf Aftab, the spokesperson for Ahmadiyya Muslim Elderly Association for the North of England. Hello, Yusuf. So tell us what's happening in Surrey this weekend.
Good evening, and thank you for having me. Yes, so in Surrey, we will be marking, it's an annual event that takes place over 3 days. It's a retreat where the elders of the association, and I must qualify this statement of elders, it's anybody over the age of 40, so including myself, we consider ourselves very young, it's just a number, and anybody from that age where they will be involved in a culmination of activities, so from academics, which cover a wide range of topics, so spiritual topics, academic topics around science and so forth as well. There will be talks and seminars on a variety of different issues, contemporary issues as well as religious. There are sporting activities, so people that are still into their weights, running, athletics, and a variety of Asian activities like kabaddi and so forth, a type of wrestling that you have here as well, and football, cricket, and those type of things. So lots of different things, and over those 3 days, they'll also be looked after in terms of food and accommodation, etc. But yeah, lots to do.
It sounds like there's a lot to do. Now, thank you for clarifying the age of elderly, because I think life does begin at 40. I think 40 is the new 30, personally. But can I just ask, why do participants pledge allegiance to both Islam and Great Britain?
Yeah, very valid question, especially in this day and age, right? In terms of the diverse views that may be going on. I think that what we need to understand is that Islam is a religion of moderation, and Islam, in terms of, says that you need to not only respect your faith, but you also need to be loyal to your nation. Okay, so number one, fundamentally, all Muslims, Ahmadiyya Muslims as well in particular, show loyalty to their country. That is part of their faith. That is what the Quran also states, and what the Prophet Muhammad has instilled in the fabric of it in terms of Muslims itself. And I think when it comes to this is that to me, there is no separation of these two things. We are British Muslims, where we have that same identity as everybody else. Mm-hmm. We're part and parcel of this very democratic country that's given us the right to be able to do things. And that diversity that we have, that is what the British values are in terms of what we do. So for us, it's the same thing, in terms when it comes to raising of the Ahmadiyya flag that we do, and of the Union Jack. That to me embodies the culture or the multiculturalism that we have in this country, that brings the fabric of what we do. So I think that speaks to our British values. And I know there might be lots of divisive people out there, but in essence, for us, that's what it means.
Well, thank you for going into that and kind of, clarifying it, because you're right, there is a lot of talk about this at the moment. Now, what key message will the worldwide Khalifa deliver in his address?
Absolutely. So Mirza Masroor, His Holiness, who is the head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community, which is spread across over 211 nations, and he's the in terms of obviously our beliefs and so forth, that we believe in the second coming of the Messiah, and then obviously Caliphate has continued. His message the last 2 decades is the same message of peace, equity, love, harmony in terms of the way we do things. Which is very much in line with the values that we have, that I've already expounded on from a British perspective. And that's what Islam is. It's a religion of peace. It's a religion of understanding. It's a religion of loyalty. It's a religion of expression and freedom, etc. So our motto in the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, which was coined by the third caliph at that time, is love for all, hatred for none. And I think that epitomizes what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, I think that's such a lovely thing to kind of live by, whether you are Muslim or not. Now, I must ask, this question. How does a gathering respond to rising Islamophobia? And how did your youth event, last week go? Because tensions are high, even more so than we've seen before. So how are you addressing that and also keeping people safe?
Yeah, exactly. I think, look, safety and security is important, and we have to give a shout out here to the UK government, the authorities, and everybody that played their part and parcel in the whole of this. That, in the majority of cases, keep everybody safe and secure, right? In terms of what it is, we've got a democratic society that listens to what is going on, and we want to make sure that any right-wing rhetoric of any sort that impacts in terms of what is going on and the messaging that is given, whether it's through rallies and protests and so forth, as long as they're peaceful, people have the right to be able to do that, and there's no problems in terms of that. And we all want what's right for the country. And we also believe, when it comes to things like the important facts around immigration and so forth, we turn around and say the same thing. Anybody that's a migrant and so forth should be effectively helping and supporting and fulfilling their rights for that country that they belong in. But to turn around and then start mocking and saying certain things that they're taking things away, I think that's absolutely wrong, and it's a dangerous narrative to take. So from our perspective, in terms of the youth convention that you just mentioned, I've just come from that this weekend. Again, loyalty to our country, biggest youth association across the UK, does a lot of work in terms of things. Muslims, if you think about it, probably give about 2 billion in charity, funding back things, providing debt, paying on their taxes, doing all the right stuff that they're supposed to be doing. And on top of that, looking after the environment, planting trees. That's what our youth do. Supporting when the floods happen, supporting food banks, supporting other charitable organisations, supporting their neighbours, and supporting other religious organisations. That is the same, is mimicked by our Elders Association and also our Ladies Association, who have a separate arm in terms of what they're doing. So to us, that is complete loyalty to the country and ensuring that we create peace and harmony in society.
Well, I do wish you all the best for everything that you have planned, this weekend. And last week also sounds like it was a success. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. That was Yusuf Aftab, spokesperson for the Ahmadiyya Muslim Elderly Association for the North of England. The event takes place from the 26th to the 28th of September.